everyone, welcome to today's video of Craft with Cass. Today I'm going to be doing a little Easter little treat for you guys if you want to make something quick and easy. I know this year I've found Easter eggs have been a lot more expensive, and as someone who has been just slowly getting back into work after long-term injury, I haven't had the money to buy Easter eggs. So when we had the good old dairy milk blocks on special a week ago, I bought some, and I've also got this idea for Nestle ones as well, but I turned it into little Easter chocolate boxes. So I've made a couple, and I'm going to go through with you guys in this video how to put one together. I've done a few for my friends in a range of colours. Also, this box suits the Nestle ones as well. This person likes the dairy milk, the Milky Bar block. So even though both blocks are 180 grams, the Nestle one's a bit thinner than, and like a bit thinner but a slightly wider than the dairy milk. The Cadbury one's a little bit higher, but as you'll see as we make this box, both will work. So I'll just tuck this back in and we'll be on with the show. For my bunny on the front, I've just found a bunny on Design Bundles and adapted it to what I wanted it to be. And previously I stamped the Happy Easter when I stamped the others, so that you could see me finish it off putting it together. So for this idea originated from a lady I found on YouTube myself. Miss Rita to the Rescue is her channel, and her website's myscrapchick.com. She had a template for you to purchase for the Hershey bars, and her design's a little bit different, but I got the idea from her, so I'm giving credit where credit's due. Okay, so for this, just trying to work this camera out so you guys are not on the side. For this project, what we're going to do is, first of all, start with a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock paper. I've just got a scrap piece of sorbet. I used to buy my cardstock from Close to My Heart, but I don't anymore, so this is just an old piece. What we're going to do is we want it to be 12 inches in, not 12, 12 inches long by 10 inches wide. So I'm just going to, trying to make everything fit on my desk. Slide the trimmer across till I can get the 10, and then I'm just going to trim off the 2 inches. The 2 inches I'm going to keep for my Happy Easter at the end, so I'll just put that over here out of the way and we'll go on with the show. So that's all the cutting for this piece of paper. I'm just going to swap out, because there's nothing worse than having the cutting blade in when you don't want it to be in. Put the scoring blade in. So what you're going to do now is you're going to, on the 12-inch length side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch first, and then again at 1 full inch. Then you're going to turn it around the opposite side, and you're going to do the score at the same markings again at 1/2 inch and at 1 inch. Now I've done a instruction sheet which I'll attach on when I upload this upload the video I should say, and that will help you guys with the dimensions, so you can either print that out or choose to follow along with the video. Now I'm going to turn it around, and what we need to do is we're going to score at 3 3/4 from this edge and turn it around and go 3 3/4 from the other edge. Actually, no, don't turn it around. 3 3/4. You need to get the side bars. Lucky I remembered, because I would have forgotten. What's this one now? Score at 3 3/4, and you're going to slide it up to the other quarter. Oh, now I'm not sure what I'm doing. We go to 4 1/4, so it's 1/2 inch on the side. Yep, that's right. And then you're going to do it again, so you're going to go 3 3/4 and along another 1/2 inch. And that's all the scoring done. So you can see the indents in the cardstock. So now I'm going to move the trimmer out of the way for now. We'll bring that back in later for the last little bit. What I'm going to do quickly is my burnishing tool is hiding, so I'm going to use my scraper for this bit. But what you're going to do, you're going to now just burnish your folds. Just give them a nice, just to give them a nice sharp edge, and do the same on the other side. So there's all those bits done. Now I'm going to find my scissors, and what you're going to do is you're going to trim up from the bottom there and there. We're going to cut out Of course, you can do this with your trimmer if you want to, but I find it's just as easy to use the scissors. You only need one little notch there, so we take the other bit off. You leave this one whole. We'll do the same on this side as we did a minute ago. Off. Okay, so that's the top bit done. As you can see, you've got this bit will fold in a minute. I'll show you. I've just got to repeat the same as what we just did. I do have another video which I started a few weeks ago, but I wasn't happy with how the cricket, once I cut it out and tried to stick it together, and how it worked. So I'm in the process of refilming and redoing, and I'll upload that one in the coming weeks. almost forgot that bit there. Okay, so here's the beginning of our, basically that's the like the net of the box that we're going to put around our chocolate bar. So again, we're going to use our folding and burnishing. We're just going to do these bits. I just use my finger to do the little tab one because it's harder to do. Okay, so now we're just ready to put our box together. So for this, I've got my little wet Tombow liquid glue. You don't need a lot, but you do need a little. And all I'm going to do is fold in my edges. I'll leave the top part open. And all I've been doing is doing that. On this edge piece here, I don't go quite up to the seam because you allow for a little bit of the glue to sort of smear over. And I just go around the outside and do that. And then just fold these bits in to your box as you go. Okay, and this one's ready, and you just push it down and hold it down. Just wait a few seconds, and then what I was doing is just to help it set and dry, you just slide your chocolate bar in, and the weight of the chocolate bar tends to help the box stay together. And that's the outer section of our box made. So I'm just going to stick that over to the side. And what I'm going to do now, I've got a piece of, I'm making monochromatic colours for this box, this treat box. So now what I'm going to do is, if I look at the pattern piece, I need it to be three and a quarter by 7, and let's try this, 3 1/4 by 7 and half. 3 1/4 by 7 and a 3 1/4 by 7 and a half. I think that's how it'll work. So I'm gonna cut 3 1/4 by 7 and a half. Apologies for that little trimming not being on the screen. And I'm just gonna, this one's got a slightly wider border than my other ones, but that's okay. So what I'm gonna do is just stick this down on top. This idea is good if you've got a few people to buy gifts for, or teachers or things like that. Because you can do lots for quite cheap. So that bit's done. So I'm just going to slide this over. Now I've got my rabbit here that I pre-cut out on my Cricut before starting to film the video, just to make it a bit faster. So I've got the little rabbit here in pieces. So we're just going to stick it together. Again, you don't have to use this picture. You can find another picture that you might like to attach. And just line it up on the black base, which you probably can't see too well on this mat. So I'll move the mat out the way and then you can see it better. Okay, so there's all the pieces. Next I'll stick the body on. I always like to check before I put the glue on that I've got the piece the right way up. There's nothing worse than getting the glue on and having it in the wrong spot. Quite often with wet glue that makes the piece useless and you've got to cut it again. So there's the rabbit's body. Have I lost his tail? Look at his head. I knew I was going to lose part of this rabbit. There's his head. Whenever you lose a part, you usually find it in the most weirdest of places later, like stuck to your elbow or in your hair, or just make sure. Yep. Good thing about wet glue is you've got a few seconds to wiggle room to get it in the right spot. For his mouth, I just put a dot in there because it's easiest. Oh. These little bits, you always want to check you've got them the right way up. And I'll put a little dot for his cheek. I've got a happy bunny. I really want to find that missing part, but what I might have to do is find it later. I'll make a new tail off camera. I'm sure you aren't going to mind it without a tail. So what we're going to do now is we're going to glue him on to our box. Totally up to you where you position, above, below, in the middle. I quite like putting them up and then putting the Happy Easter underneath. Okay, so now what we're going to do is bring back in our Happy Easter and our little orange tag from before. I'm just going to trim down the Happy Easter part so that it can have a nice little border on it. I'll take a little bit off the top of this too, because I stamped it a little bit lower down than I'd like. Alright, so then we've got that part, and all I like to do is stick it, I'll stick it on here, and then I'll just give it a little border around the outside. So stick it down, put it on the trimmer, line it up. The good thing about wet glue is if you don't quite get it centered in your trim, you can slide it still. And there is our little Happy Easter. Put that off to the side. I'll stick that on. And there's our little Happy Easter box. So like you said, you can see it's very quick and easy to make them. And you know, I got the blocks of chocolate on special for like between $2 and $3. So you know, when the Easter eggs costing some places like 15 to 20, depending on what you get, you can definitely make a few little treats quite cheaply. So that's it for today's video. I will attach the instruction sheet below, and I look forward to catching up with you all in the next video. Until then, bye for now.